Princess Thalara did not believe in fate, until a human prisoner looked at her across a ruined archive and said he had seen her die before she was born. The dream archive lay beneath the moon of Esh, a vault older than the royal bloodline. Filled with memory crystals taken from sleepers and dying navigators, Thalara had come to seize it from rebels before they could sell its visions to enemy houses. She expected traps, encrypted doors, perhaps old ghosts and poetic recordings. She did not expect the human. He was pinned under a fallen crystal shelf, bleeding and calm, when her guards aimed rifles at him. He raised one hand and said, "Before anyone shoots." "Your left engine is leaking blue fire." Her captain checked the shuttle feed, then went pale. Thalara stepped closer. "Who are you, Evan Cross?" he said. "Archive repair? Occasional bad omen?" Then he looked at her face. "And fear found him before pain did. You," he whispered. Thalara disliked that single word more than threats. "Explain." Evan pushed himself against the shattered floor. "I worked in a dream recovery lab. We found pre-contact recordings in human sleep archives. Impossible alien images. You were in one," the guards murmured. Thalara's eyes narrowed. "Human fraud often begins with wonder." "Usually," Evan said. "But this one ended with you bleeding under a white tree while the sky turned black." The archive ceiling groaned. Dust fell like gray snow. Thalara turned away. "I have no time for superstition, good," he said. "Neither do I, because the part after that had coordinates." She stopped. Evan gave them 6 precise numbers. Her captain compared them with the mission map. They matched the lower vault, a chamber no rebel had supposedly reached. Thalara felt irritation sharpen into unease. Fate had knocked. And the princess hated that it knew the door code. They freed Evan because he knew broken systems. She repeated that while he limped beside her through corridors of humming crystals, each holding someone's dream. "You keep dreams like weapons," Evan said. "We keep warnings." "Humans usually call that weapons with better manners." She glanced at him. "Are all humans insolent?" "Only repair staff." The lower vault doors had been cut from inside. Rebels were not stealing the archive, they were waking it. Thousands of crystals pulsed in sequence, feeding a central machine shaped like an open eye. Thalara's scholar gasped. "The probability choir." "A myth," Thalara said. "A weapon," Evan corrected softly. The scholar whispered, "If activated, it can predict attacks, betrayals, bloodlines." Evan looked at the machine or pushed people toward the future it once recorded. The chamber shook, and rebels in mirror armor raised rifles. The dream was no longer a dream. It had brought guns. The firefight shattered crystal pillars. Thalara fought with 2 plasma blades, graceful and furious. Evan crawled under the choir's console and pulled wires with disrespect. Then the white tree appeared. Not real, not hologram, something between. Growing from broken light, Thalara saw it and froze. Evan shouted, "Princess, move!" She did not, because in the branches she saw herself. Older, crowned, standing above conquered worlds. Alone beyond victory, then another version, younger. Dead beneath the tree, then another. Laughing with children she did not recognize, then another. Ordering executions in a voice like her mother's, the choir was not predicting. It was tempting. A rebel commander fired. Evan tackled Thalara aside. The bolt struck his shoulder and spun him into the roots. Blue fire crossing his suit, the commander aimed again. Thalara threw one blade and ended him. The human had recognized her from fate, then chose to disobey it. Evan gasped. The core, lower panel. "Break the singing circuit." Thalara knelt beside him. "If I leave you, you die. If you do not, everyone gets edited by a haunted calculator." "That is not an official term. It should be," she almost smiled. Hated herself for it and ran to the core. The choir flooded her mind with futures. "Kneel and become beloved. Strike and lose your father. Spare the rebel and face civil war. Save the human and doom a treaty. Leave him and rule unchallenged." Every vision offered certainty. Thalara had always wanted certainty. Now it felt like a cage made of beautiful doors. She slammed her blade into the singing circuit. The white tree screamed. Every dream crystal flashed at once. Evan's human archive, her own childhood. Worlds burning, worlds healing. Then silence fell so hard the guards dropped to their knees. The tree vanished. The probability choir cracked open like an egg. Thalara returned to Evan, who was trying to bandage his shoulder with wire. "You are terrible at medicine," she said. "I am inventing a shortcut." She pressed a proper seal to the wound. "Why did your archive have me?" Evan looked to the broken crystals. "Humans dream loudly. Maybe the universe overheard. I do not believe in fate." "Good," he said. "Fate is just fear wearing formal clothes for the first time." Thalara understood that disbelief was not enough. She had to choose. When they emerged, dawn had turned Esha's ruins gold. Her generals requested permission to secure the archive remnants. Her scholars begged to preserve the choir. Her mother sent a command ordering all dream weapons transferred to the capital. Thalara looked at Evan, pale from blood loss, but still watching the vault. "Destroy it," she ordered. The scholars cried out. "Princess, the knowledge," she answered. "Knowledge that removes choice is only a prettier chain." The crystals were catalogued for families. Warnings: separated from weapons. Personal dreams returned, where possible. The choir was burned under witness seal, and Evan's coordinates were carved into the destruction record. Weeks later, Thalara visited him in recovery. "Did your dream say I would destroy it?" "No. What did it say?" He hesitated. "It said you would ask whether you had become cruel." "And what did you answer?" Evan smiled faintly. "I woke up before that part." The princess who did not believe in fate kept returning. Not because destiny called, but because choice did, years later. When enemies claimed her mercy had been predicted, Thalara laughed and told them, prediction was only a door drawn on a wall. A human had shown her the handle was still in her own hand.